ex-comic. We did a show together in Bristol, New Hampshire. And yeah, they said, you got your choice, Vegas or Bristol? We said, let us think, you know. But you're gonna love them. Put your hands together for Joe Flynn.
Casey McNeil, everybody, let them know. Yeah, so we did the show in Bristol, New Hampshire, and I was running late, so I'm bombing up the highway, 80 miles an hour, trying to get to this place on time. And I see this sign that says, reduce speed to 45 miles an hour when flashing. I told you I was in a hurry, so I just stuffed my dick right back in my pants and kept going 80. I recently turned 60. And to commemorate this landmark birthday, I went back and took a look at the bucket list that I wrote when I was 50. And I actually crossed a bunch of things off the list that day. Yeah, I looked at it, I was like, wow, you know, that one is never gonna fucking happen. She's dead now, so I think that one's out. And no, I am not gonna run a marathon. At this point, I need a nap when I drive 26 miles. But there was one thing on the list, one thing that I actually accomplished. I was able to check it off. It was number 7. It was have sex with a member of a minority. Yeah, I was able to check that off when I realized if you would fuck this, you're in the fucking minority, let me tell you. The homeless Kenny Rogers look just isn't getting it done. My wife hates that joke. She says that I say the wrong thing all the time, and as luck would have it, she has a list of her own. Thanksgiving 2009, we're at my brother's house. A lot of little kids around. I'm watching the football game, and the ref makes a call I don't like. And I yell, that's bullshit. Now the parents are all pissed. They're gesturing towards their children, rolling their eyes at me. I know I have to make it right. So I call the kids over. Kids, gather round. I'm sorry I said bullshit. Uncle Joe fucked up again, didn't he? Because I'm always saying the wrong thing. My wife and I were getting ready to go out. She looked in the mirror, looked back at me, and she says, I'm getting fat. Yeah, that night I learned me too is not an acceptable response. I have since learned that neither is no shit. What do you mean getting? I'm sorry, baby, I thought you knew. Those all get you in trouble. We had a really, really steamy hot day a few weeks ago, and I went to my wife very nicely, and I suggested we visit her cousin. Now, you guys are my friends now, right? I can tell you, her cousin is an asshole. Her cousin has an in-ground pool. So I suggested we go visit. And I'm in the pool minding my own business. He decides to bust my balls. He stands over me, he's like, hey, I treated my pool with that chemical. If you piss in the pool, the water turns blue. I just looked up and said, hey, you realize that shit's not working, right? When she turned 50, I was all over social media with this big event. Happy 50th birthday, big 5-0, hashtag half a century. She wasn't amused. Now I'm explaining to myself again, I'm like, baby, you don't understand. Your 50 is a big deal to me. I haven't had sex with a 50-year-old since I was 15. They transferred Father Bennett to another parish that year. So this is where you're drawing the line? When you thought I was a 15-year-old kid banging a cougar, I was your fucking hero. I meant to ask this earlier. Folks close to the stage, does the lazy eye distract you at all? Well, that's thanks, but I was asking them. I actually do have a lazy eye, and like Casey, I also have ADD. So not only am I easily distracted, I've got the one whack job eye that just bounces around the room, finding shiny shit to distract me. I don't know who coined the phrase lazy eye. This thing gets more exercise than any other muscle in my body. I call it spaz eye, and I think that's a better name for it. And I've discovered there's advantages to spaz eye. One of them comes when I'm playing basketball. Because like I can be over here watching the guy with the ball, right? And spaz eye's keeping an eye on what's... You guys are not buying me as a basketball player, are you? Different analogy. When I walk into the Golden Corral, I got it knocked. I'm over here chowing down on chicken wings. The fresh prime rib comes out and spaz eye gives me the heads up. Everybody's happy. I told you earlier that my wife says I say stupid stuff, right? But you know, she says stupid things too. She just doesn't admit it. I'll give you an example. She grew up in the city, so she's never driven a car. Doesn't have a license, has never been behind the wheel of a car. But she claims, she told me that, you know, sometimes, Joe, when I'm dreaming, I'm driving a car in my dreams. That means I know how to drive. I'm like, baby, by that logic, I know how to get J-Lo to back that ass up. Because in my dreams, she'll do that for Klondike Bar. I make so much fun of my wife, but you know, she's my best friend. She's my biggest fan. She's the person I tell the jokes to first before I tell them on stage. I told her the Klondike Bar joke. She just shook her head and said, yeah, good luck getting a room full of people to believe you'd give up ice cream for any fucking reason. So she won that round. But I told you she doesn't drive, but the men in the audience will understand this. That doesn't stop her from criticizing my driving one bit. She's always telling me, and I've called her on it one day. I'm like, baby, how can you tell me how to drive when you've never driven a car? She says, Joe, you don't give blowjobs, but you're full of advice on that fucking topic, aren't you? It's cute she thinks I've never given a blowjob. Father Bennett, remember? But it's funny, the advice, and I'll finish with this, the advice we give each other is the exact same advice. My complaints about her blowjobs is the same as her complaints about my driving. It's always, baby, slow down, take your time. We'll get there. And stop fucking texting, would you? Hey, I'm Joe Flynn, thanks for coming out, thanks.